Well, music is, it's a sound. It's a sound that's pleasant.
I think it's kind of man's way of expressing himself, both emotively and intellectually. It really is a language, but it's more than a language. It's kind of a way to connect to things that are beyond normal language, spiritual things and emotional things that sometimes can't be put into words very well.
It means a lot of things. It's experiences. It's almost like a drug to certain people. It invokes emotion. That also depends on what kind you're listening to. But music's great.
I use it every day, so I think it's really important.
It is an audio expression of something with a desired emotional response from an audience.
Honestly, music is my life. I work at a music venue. I'm in a band. Any free time I have, I'm probably listening to music or writing music. So music is pretty much everything to me.
Music means everything to me. From the moment I wake up to the moment I go to bed, I'm always thinking about music. Music is a huge part of my life and part of other people's life.
Everything.
One, two, three,
Strongest memory of music in my life. Probably my first concert that I went to, and that's what kind of convinced me that playing music is something that I want to spend the rest of my life doing.
A Foo Fighters.
My grandma, she played piano and she was a musician and she studied music, but she died when I was 2 years old, so I didn't really get to know her. But I found a piece of music in a piano bench one day, and it was just this shaky hand, and I was trying to figure out what the notes were, and it didn't have a name on it, and it was an original composition, I could tell. But I played through it, and it didn't finish. It had this climax, and it was just begging for an ending, and I thought it was probably written by my grandma because it was so shaky, and she had rheumatoid arthritis, and she died from a heart attack. But it just, I feel like I have a connection with her through music, and that experience of just finding her song and playing through it, I really felt like it was hers. So I think that's my strongest memory.
Probably around when I was around 12 years old, my parents started introducing me to bands such as Sonic Youth, Pavement, Radiohead, yeah, the shirt, and I became a big 90s noise music fan and found it very don't know, I always just loved the noise bands from the 90s, I guess.
Strongest memory of music. That's a tough one. There's a lot of great memories. Probably for me it was first playing gigs with my dad when I was a really young boy, playing drums. It was my first introduction to playing live music, so that was probably the strongest. Stick with me the longest.
Probably first picking up the guitar and playing power chords and making songs. 'Cause that's I still even use that today, a lot of chords and things, and it's just part of you that never leaves, I guess.
For Christmas, my parents used to hide their Christmas stuff in their closet, so I found this electric guitar. It was like a hollow body electric guitar. It was pretty cool. And I remember my friends coming home from school, I was telling them all about it. I went and got it, and I showed it to them. Like, this is the guitar I'm going to get for Christmas. Well, right before Christmas, I ended up getting a new bike that my mom found in the paper. It was a really good deal.
Yeah.
So she says, do you want this bike for Christmas? I'm like, yeah.
That's how she ended up selling the guitar and getting the bike.
She took the guitar back. And what's funny is I'm not supposed to know about the guitar. So I'm thinking, all right, I got a bike, and then I'm getting a sweet guitar for Christmas, and Christmas morning came, and no guitar.
I took piano lessons as a child, and I went to go play in the recital, and I forgot. I made a mistake like a third of the way into the piece, which is of course terrifying, and I didn't know what to do, and so I started the piece over and I finished it. And out of all these years later, it's the only piece I can play that I have memorized still, is that piece, because I just was so inbred after I made that mistake. So that was music, playing the piano.
The blues always just touched me, even as a kid, and made me, the simplicity and the power in that simple format. It's like a sonnet.
Yeah.
A sonnet is a set. You don't improve on a sonnet. You don't change a sonnet. It's a set format. So is blues. Jazz is not. Jazz is free form. Anything goes. And part of my personality likes that structure. That within this set format, I can bare my soul.
Right.
It's not in the format, it's in the performance.
311-day concert in 2010. There's a lot more to explain, but it was just the greatest concert experience ever. 5-hour show. Everyone to 12,000 people just looking to have a good time. You can't beat it. It was phenomenal.
Can't really remember a certain time, but I know that music can always change my mood, so whenever I want to get in a certain mood, I always use music to do that.
Probably when I was a teenager and I lived in Northern California, outside of the Bay Area, and it was like at the height of all the great bands, and just remember listening to a ton of music at that time and going to a lot of concerts in the San Francisco Bay Area.
I wanted a transistor radio so that it was cool at that time. We didn't ride. At best we had a bicycle.
Yeah.
But you could walk and have a transistor radio that you could listen to music to with. That was really unique. And that's my first really memory of having my own music.
Yeah.
That I was able to listen to what music I wanted to listen to instead of what my mom and dad were listening to.
My strongest memories tend to be the ones associated with probably either hard or very poignantly good times in my life that I was listening to certain music. Whether it's good or bad music, it doesn't really matter, but it attaches itself to the goings on in your life really strongly. So I can pin down a handful of songs, but it's more the life experience that really connects with.
I can. Live, in my bedroom, in my car, at shows, naked, doesn't matter, as long as there's music.
Do you listen to it? Yeah? And do you play it with your drums? That's cool.
I guess probably mostly just by listening to it. I'm not a musician, I don't play a lot of music, but I like to listen to music. I like a cappella, I like rock, classic rock, classical. I probably like almost everything. I'm not really big on country, but mostly I just like listening to music.
But I don't know, I like listening to music in the dark. I mean, maybe with a glow light or some other type of light.
Listening to it, writing it, playing it live in front of people, that's about as much as I experience it.
I think it just enhances my emotions, so if I'm feeling sad or happy, it just enhances that and make me either sadder or happier.
I experience it on several levels. I experience it on an intellectual level, like jazz and classical music and stuff like that. It's very intellectual. Certainly on a spiritual level, certainly on an emotional level, and from a communication level, from being able to communicate with other musicians and artists, and also if there's an audience or congregation or whatever, to be able to communicate back and forth with them.
And like I said, I just use it every day, and it doesn't have to be an actual song, just any of the rhythms in our daily lives.
I've always liked music.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've always had big time, for the time, stereo equipment, always trying to get more out of your speakers, adding speakers to your system, yeah, always installing the latest record player, 4-track, 8-track, cassette, DVD, or not DVD, CD system into your car. Always had music. Music was always a big deal.
I guess I experience it on like a variety of levels, whether it be recorded music or live performance of music, or what my favorite is like the music that plays in your head and that you come up with, and that's kind of my favorite.
I feel like music it affects me emotionally the most.
Very greatly, and it's made a huge impact on me. It's great to have. You know, it's a great break from the normal routine of things when you can come home and just listen to music and vibe with it and relax and do what you need to do with it. Or if you want to go have a good time, you go out and dance. And music is great. It makes you move, makes you think.
Well, for example, last night I was feeling a little anxious, so I turned on my laptop and I listened to a bunch of music, and that seemed to calm me down.
Does it make you happy?
Yeah.
Or does it make you sad?
Happy.
I would say it enhances it. Like it brings, if you're sad and you listen to sad music, you get sadder. But if you're happy and listen to happy music, or like if I'm cleaning and listening to music with a good beat, I'll move faster and get through it faster. So it kind of just enhances whatever activity I'm doing.
I mean, music can take me from having a bad day, and it can instantly turn around my attitude. So that's probably emotionally about the only way that music affects me.
It's kind of really been the motivating factor for my life since I was a little kid. I always wanted to be a musician.
Pretty strongly, since I spent half the year driving in a van with the band, playing music. music, so it has affected my life greatly.
It comforts me when I'm sad, it encourages me when I'm discouraged, and it's a wonderful, wonderful medium to be able to worship God.
I wouldn't want to be on this earth if there wasn't music.
Every day off I have usually is for a show or for either one I'm going to or one I'm playing, so pretty much affects every moment of my life, to be perfectly honest.
If you're not listening to music, you're seriously missing out on the point of life, in my opinion.
Music is great. I can't imagine
a world without it.
I cannot imagine how dark a world would be without music. I mean, zero, no music. Can you imagine how it'd be terrible?
She doesn't ever need a balance. Even elects herself as often as she feels. I hear she doesn't need the laws for guidance. Always makes her own and always gets the better deal. She's so elect. She leaves me feeling derelict. So I'll start a revolution. I'll declare an end to tyrants of the heart. Reinstitute a constitution and never stray, even if my feelings jump the start. Every verdict a surprise, no two rulings the same. You can see it in her.
Can't even imagine.
Is that going?
Heck yeah.
Oh, it is going?
It's been going for like
13
minutes now.
I had no idea that it was going. I thought we were going to have to turn it on right now, and I was going to have to tell you that Arvin radio story again.
The one you already just told, right?
Yes, but isn't it something how a kid, an old man, 62 years old, can... Arvin, I'm sure there's no such thing as Arvin electronics today.
Yep.
It's long gone. But even to this day, I can remember the brand name of that radio, Arvin.